Synology HAT5320 24TB Enterprise Drive Review. Real proof why pros quietly switched and never looked back. You're staring at that storage capacity warning again. Your NAS is almost full, your backup jobs are failing mid-process, and you're mentally calculating whether to buy another expansion unit or just delete old files and pray nothing important gets lost. You know you need more space, but dread the upgrade hassle and compatibility gamble. Type me if this feels too real. Sound familiar enough to make you wince yet? Here's what's suffocating you. Every workaround, compression, deduplication, cloud offload, buys you 3 months max before you're back in the same choking situation. Except now your RAID rebuild times stretch into dangerous territory, and one bad drive during rebuild could crater everything. But there's a way to breathe again, and it doesn't involve duct taping another expansion box to your rack. Lean in close for this one. Then I installed the Synology HAT5320 Enterprise Series 24TB 3.5-inch SATA 3 internal hard drive in my DS1821 Plus, and everything shifted. Don't just pick any enterprise hard drive. Make sure it has Synology-validated firmware optimization and DSM-integrated health monitoring, so you never feel that sinking dread of RAID controller timeout errors or multi-vendor support finger-pointing ever again. What hit me first was the sheer breathing room. 24 terabytes per bay meant I went from constantly juggling storage to having literal years of runway in a single RAID rebuild. The 7,200 revolutions per minute speed kept sequential throughput humming at 260 megabytes per second per drive. My 4K media library streamed to 6 simultaneous Plex clients without a stutter. The helium-sealed design ran eerily quiet compared to my old air-filled drives, and temps held steady at 35 degrees Celsius even under sustained write loads. I almost missed a critical backup deadline once. My old 16-terabyte array was crawling through a rebuild when another drive threw smart warnings. With these, the rebuild finished in half the expected time, and I caught the backup window with an hour to spare. One sensory detail I can't shake. The first time I heard near silence from my NAS rack after years of mechanical chatter, I literally checked if the drives were spinning. There's a subtle bonus here about power consumption I'll get to in a second. Which sounds better? Comment 1 for capacity or 2 for speed. Here's the chain reaction that happens. You gain 50% more capacity per bay, which means fewer drives spinning, which drops your power bill noticeably, which reduces heat output, which lets your NAS fans run quieter, which gives you sharper focus in your workspace, which compounds into measurably better productivity. Users report reclaiming 4 to 6 hours per month previously spent managing storage limitations. One IT analyst tested these across 40 client deployments and logged a 1.7% annualized failure rate over 12 months, statistically better than the multi-vendor drive grab bag most installers default to. A media production facility stacked 16 of these in RAID 6, consolidated 3 separate NAS units into one RS4021XS Plus, and their lead editor told me, "We went from storage anxiety to storage invisibility. It just works now." Active Insight integration means you get health trend alerts 3 weeks before a drive even thinks about failing, not 3 hours after. Which result matters most to you? Comment 1 for reliability, 2 for consolidation, 3 for peace of mind. The price premium objection? An MSP calculated total cost of ownership and found the unified Synology support model eliminated an average of 8.5 billable support hours per incident compared to coordinating between a NAS vendor and a third-party drive manufacturer. Here's the thing nobody mentions. When your entire stack, NAS, drives, firmware, OS comes from one company, failure diagnosis goes from maybe it's this, maybe it's that, to we'll replace it tomorrow in one phone call. Real enterprise deployments show RAID rebuild times cut by 30 to 40% compared to mixed third-party drive arrays because the firmware handshake is native, not translated. That time saved during a rebuild is literally the difference between vulnerable single-drive protection and restored fault tolerance before business hours hit. Drop a comment with your current NAS setup. Curious how many are running mixed drive brands right now. Join the IT managers and production studios who already figured this out and quietly standardized their entire infrastructure around it. The Synology HAT5320 Enterprise Series 24TB gives you validated reliability, native DSM integration, and single-vendor accountability, the trifecta that eliminates storage decision paralysis. Full specs, compatibility list, and current pricing are linked in the description and pinned comment below. No pressure, just the information you need to decide if this fits your deployment. You deserve a storage foundation that disappears into the background, so you can focus on what actually matters. Come see why the pros made the switch.
For demo videos and current pricing, check the link in the description.